I didn't mean for the music to be so menacing. Hi. God, this is very close to my face. What's up, everybody? Let's can we go for something a little lighter in tone? How is everyone doing today? Welcome. I hope you enjoyed the little teaser trailer, which is in, if you haven't seen it, we did release a video about 4 months ago on our main channel called We're Making a Cartoon, where we showed that teaser, and we also talked a little bit about the project. If you want to hear a few more details about the overall concept, I do not think we'll have Jack today. He's feeling a little under the weather. Yowie, yowie. There's a lot of yowie comments, which I can neither confirm nor deny. Let me play some background music. Here, this should work. Just something light. All right, there we go. I'm just going to be doing a little bit of work. If you have any questions, you want to know my thoughts on something, feel free to sound off. Can neither confirm nor deny. So basically, it's confirmed. I'm not saying that there's gay people in the pilot, but there might be gay people in the pilot. The cardigan is peak. Oh yes, I love the cardigans. Loveful. All the other songs. Sick and Tired. I don't know why I struggled to think of another cardigan song. I actually like them. I don't just like them because of the one TikTok song. If the pilot becomes a success, will there be merch in the works? I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. We have some stuff planned for when it drops. It's not going to be a ton of stuff, but there will be some stuff. There will be some stuff. Do you think the pilot would be good to show parents? I don't know. Do your parents like cartoons? I mean, we're in millennial era. Like, people who grew up watching Avatar have kids now, so maybe for some parents, you know, viewer discretion recommended. Don't end up getting picked up by glitch. What is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Should I? Why would that be bad? Are we getting more Spilling the Milk merch? Eventually, it's in the plans at some point. But the thing is that, to be honest, the merch doesn't actually make that much money, which I know seems surprising, and people would probably think otherwise. And I know, for depending on your audience, that's probably very different. But for us, it's not there's not a huge incentive to do it, besides the fact that we just like making cool shirts. So it will come at some point in the future, but we're kind of focusing most of our energy on this project right now, to get it out in time. So it's been put on the back burner. What's up with the new painting in the back? I've had this for ages. This one, this is a painting I did like a while, like 6 months ago or something. When I started, I got into watercolors because of this project. There's a lot of, not super detailed or extravagant or anything, but just like splash watercolors in the background sometimes instead of having a background. Same way you see in anime or cartoons all the time, where there's a pattern or texture for more visual variety. But it just got me more into the medium of watercolor in general. So I've been playing around with it more because it's just a fun medium to work with. I like watercolor a lot because you cannot be precious about it, because once you put that shit on the thing, it's starting to dry. Like, you're committed. Paint in general is a nice medium in that sense that, like, once you do something, you can't control Z. So you just have to commit to seeing it through to the end. Unlike with digital art, where it's very easy to get caught in a cycle of, like, it has to be exactly perfect. Glitch making 16 different Clementine plushies. We gotta come up with some alternate outfits. Which is something I would love to do. I love when shows give characters, like, a variety of outfits. Like, in every episode, they're wearing something different. It's so wonderful. That's the best thing about shows for girls, to be honest. Any like magical girl show or anything in that vein, like, they're always wearing something different. Why does your background remind me of a white mom's Zoom meeting? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know what about this gives white mom. I have a painting of some purple bitch, Big Top Burger. This is very blurry but it's from an anime called Yadamon. That's from it's a Vune print. You can barely see it. It's very blurry. You can see my background a little bit more clearly than usual, because usually it's over here, so you mostly see the core line. There's also, this is very, very blurry, but it's a kid playing like a little toy piano, and there's a Miss Piggy right here. I bought it on eBay because it was Muppets related, and that charmed me. White moms love Big Top Burger. Damn, I didn't know it had such a wide appeal. After the pilot, will you keep doing your old animations too? I'd like to do more short films, more experimental short films, but it's mostly just a matter of, like, accommodating the time for it. I have ideas, and I do really love the medium of animation, just like as a form to experiment with, which is something that I'd like to do more. This project has developed a defined style of its own, but I do want to do things that are a little bit more in the abstract, avant-garde world. Do you play guitar often? I do. I have a band with my friend. It's called Frogs in a Pond. Okay, this music's too dramatic. It's not that emotional right now. It's not that emotional. Let's put on some Nintendo music. Okay. Keep it light. You got to do a room setup tour. Maybe when I finally feel happy with how my place has been set up. I moved here a bit ago, but it's still not fully decorated, so I wouldn't want to show it off until I'm happy with it. Alright. I'm gonna start drawing, but I'll keep talking. Don't worry. I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup on some simple shots that I've had. These are not, I didn't do the rough animation on these, by the way. If you're curious. We have an amazing team of animators. This one was done by Postboy, actually. Let me make chat a little bigger so I can read that better. Okay. Do you and Jack voice any characters? Yes, we do. We voice a couple. Obviously, some gag characters. Though none of the... If you're, like, all of the main cast is people that we casted. Like, we're not playing any of the primary characters in the series. Because I don't think I would do as good a job as someone who has spent their entire, spent years and years working on getting good at doing that. I do like voice acting as a medium, and it's very fun to do. But especially when it comes to being able to give, be convincing in a mix of tones, from comedic to dramatic. Just the amount of colors that a good voice actor can get out of their voice. Oh, I fucked up here. How long had Plastic Crunch been sitting as an idea before it began production? Actually, what's interesting is that it didn't really have... Now, and I'm trying to phrase this correctly. It was not like a long developed passion project type of situation. This wasn't like, oh, I've been sitting on this idea for years and I really wanted to make it and I had to make it. The idea came into existence because I wanted to make a show. Or me and Jack wanted to do a project. The funny part of this story, we had just watched Hazbin Hotel, the first season, and we were talking about how we both wanted to make an animated musical. That was just something that we both really wanted to do. And I, at the time, had been lightly working on a musical concept unrelated to this, but I was thinking, I was like, yeah, I mean, we could just do one. What's stopping us from just making the thing that we want to make? And so I reached out with Jack, and I reached out to my friend, our friend Shabu, who's doing the score for the show, the soundtrack and the sound design, and our friend Cal, she's the lead character designer, the art director behind the background art. And I came up with this idea and gave them a pitch. And I was like, what do you think of this idea? I just spent some time thinking about the kind of characters that I like, the kind of story that I would want to see. And I gave them the pitch, and they were down. They were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And so then I wrote the episode with Jack, and I went through a bunch of revisions, but that's kind of how it happened. It all happened pretty quickly. Let's see. Do you like Pringles? Unfortunately, I do not like Pringles. I do not like the texture of them. I like potato chips that have some bite to them. I don't like it that it's not like a slice of potato. It's like a ground up and then smoothed out, and then it's, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I don't really fuck with Pringles like that. I mean, I'll eat them if there's not much else, but it's not my first pick. But I'm not a huge, like, snack food person in general. I do like potato chips now and then, but I just don't really, like, eat snacks very often. I think, having you voice side characters keeps it from feeling like spilling the milk, just the show. Yeah, I mean, something that I was thinking is, like, I don't really want it to feel like, oh, like, we're so conceited and we think we can do everything, you know? Like, I just wanna make a thing that's cool. So my goal is to just do whatever enables that to happen. And I mean, obviously, I want to make the story that I want to make. Though I am not even opposed to working with writers on, like, other ideas. It's just on this specific one, I felt attached to the idea of, like, us being the people, the sole people behind it. Are you actually into MLP, or were you being sarcastic? I'm into MLP in the way that I'm into Sonic. It's like partially sincere, partially ironic, but that's kind of the fun. MLP less so than Sonic, because I just never, I think I honestly think I would have liked the show if I watched it when it came out. Like Friendship is Magic specifically. Because what we watched on the channel, I think I did enjoy it the most of the three of us. I think it has a nice art style, the animation looks good, the songs are pretty good usually. It's just, you know, it's kind of hard to get into My Little Pony in 2026. Like, it's just not, there's other things I could be experiencing. What's up, Evan, by the way? And Finn. You're Jack going to San Diego Comic-Con this year. Is it worth going to? I've never been. I mean, I see people post about it. I know it's like, isn't it like, it's like the AX of Comic-Cons, basically, is how I understand it. Though I don't know. I enjoy conventions, but the really big conventions, I think, I'm basing this off of my experience with AX. AX fucking sucks. You know, AX fucking, I'm not even gonna say all cons are like this, all big cons, but I feel like they probably are. AX fucking sucks. It's too many fucking people. Lines for everything is so damn long. You're crowded in like a fucking fish. It sucks. It's not fun at all. No one actually wants to spend time in the con because it's so packed and uncomfortable. I prefer cons that are, like, big enough that there's things there, but not so big that it's, like, too much. Hearing him speak without cuts every 5 seconds is really weird. That's what everybody says when they see us live. They're like, oh my god, you guys are so much chiller. And it's like, yeah, because, like, it's not just the parts where we're talking. I think our videos are just more heavily edited than most reaction channels. So maybe there's the expectation that that's what we're like every second. Mm-hmm. How do you have any hints on how to start drawing or animating for a guy that only drew in simple doodles in school books? Like, just do it. Actually, just do it. Is the easiest answer. Now, I will say this as someone that definitely tried to brute force my way into getting better at art. That's not the only, like, you can't only do that, because you will stagnate, but especially if you're starting, I think more than anything, you just have to build a baseline, like, connection with drawing, and, like, the feeling of being able to do it on a regular basis is really important. Like, that you can just look at a page and, like, not be afraid to pick up a pencil and start drawing. Like, when we become older, we become weirdly afraid. And it's like, it doesn't actually fucking matter at all. Kids don't give a shit what they draw. They just draw. And then pick up one drawing book. Don't overwhelm yourself with a million resources. Find one thing, read the back of it, see if it speaks to you, and follow that, learn the methodology of that person. You don't have to exclusively follow one person's methodology. In fact, the ultimate idea is that you use people's concepts to build your own, but you don't want to try and do everything at once, because you're not going to retain any of it. But something I have taken an interest is if you look at, like, older, like, more the classical artists, if you will, and obviously this is only if, like, you care about being able to do that stuff or something that builds off of that, but they really did take a lot of time to try and understand the things that they were drawing, because it's like it's kind of like the Pablo Picasso situation where, like, when you draw, he would draw eyes like this, and the reason he'd do that is because this is an icon. This is like your mental icon of an eye, but an eye doesn't actually look like that, especially if it's like someone's looking this way. Their eye wouldn't look like this. It's probably a little bit more like, you know, it's a hole and the eye's here and then the lid's here, you know, so you get this kind of this shape. So it's just being observant to the way things actually work, not the preconceptions we built up in our minds, because we have these ideas of how things work, but most of the time it's like a drastic oversimplification of what's actually true. That. What's your thoughts on film school these days? I don't really know. I have a friend that's in film school, and he seems to be having a good time with it. I don't know how much of a difference there is between, like, film schools in different countries, because I think he's Canadian, so I don't know if that affects things. It seems like there's still a lot of good talent coming out of the Canadian schools, like in animation wise as well. And I think there's a little bit more, like, funding support, so it's not as debilitating. Because I think if you have to go into, like, any significant amount of debt for it, I really don't think it's worth it at all. Especially now. It's just not. It's just, there's so many other ways to learn. If it's your only resource for getting into, like, a film kind of community, then maybe. But if you're fortunate enough to live in a place that, like, has people and an art scene, just, like, get involved. Because really, like, as far as I understand it, a big part of it is the sense of community. There's resources, but for instance, like, I live in Austin, Texas. Here there's a theater called AFS, and they they do these teaching programs. They have a bunch of film equipment, and you can pay the class price, which is maybe like $100 or something, and they'll run these group classes that they'll teach you how to use this big, fancy, expensive film equipment, so you know how to work your way around it, or lighting or sound, all of that stuff. So there's ways to learn without having to go into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. The hardest thing about animating? Patience. You do have to have a high tolerance for things taking a long time. But in a way, I kind of like that, because to me, a lot of obviously there is there's a certain energy to art that's made very quickly and spontaneously. I love Nirvana the band, and all their stuff, but for a lot of the time, I think a big part of the benefit of art in general is that it's like a condensed version of time. Like, it's you spend all this time making this thing that's so small, but then like somebody else basically gets to experience like a heightened, like you get to experience 3 years in 20 minutes, and that's kind of cool. Is this episodic or serialized? It's like supposed to be slice of life, coming of age type vibe, but with an overarching narrative. So there is plot progression, but each episode we would like to have its own internal structure. Like, you could watch an episode, I mean, you'd be confused if you aren't following. Like, there's character development and progression, but each episode we want to like have a progression on its own. This is very much in the style of a lot of anime that we liked. They use this sort of narrative structure. It's in like Evangelion and Bebop and a lot of other stuff. Less episodic than, I think we would go for probably more linear of a narrative, just because if we make this as a full series, it's like the amount of time and money it would take, we can't really afford to do as much bumbling around to tell the whole story. Second, I'm just checking my messages. Okay. I accidentally ate my neighbor's air fryer again. I'm so sorry. Did it taste good? What's your biggest inspiration for the art style? That's a good question. I do really like the art style of like Steven Universe and Infinity Train, in the sense that it's not like trying to be anime. Like, you know how you see those cartoons and they're like trying, like Voltron, I think, is an example, where when I look at it, I just feel like it's trying so hard to be anime, but it's not. You know, you can just feel that it's not. Like, there's something that doesn't quite capture it. But I do like that, I like the more realistic slightly more human proportions, that it feels like the characters have some like body to them. They're not just a collection of shapes. I think, and this is my hot take, but I think a lot of Western cartoons tend to be over optimized for animation, in a way that's just not that interesting. Like, you see, this is kind of, I felt when I was seeing a lot of people, like, animator critiques of Vivipop's designs. And they're like, well, it's actually really annoying to have to draw this cape that has, like, four pointed edges on it. And that means it's a bad design for animation. And it's like, no, you're an animator. It's your job to draw the thing. Obviously, there's limits to that. You know, they're within reason. But I think it's like, I watch animated stuff because I want to see something come alive. You know, I want to see the illusion. I want to look at something and be like, there's no way that could come alive and move around, and then it does. That's the most magical moments. I really like this animator because he does a lot of really fun squash and stretch with the character. There's a flexibility to it that I find really charming. Imagine my surprise that Dreg is voicing the antagonist. Yeah, that was such a interesting thing. We actually struggled to cast that character for so long. And then one day, Jack just happens to be friends with Dreg. And one day he was like, what about Dreg? And I was like, wait, that actually fits the character really well. And he did an audition and we liked it. And so he ended up being the character. What's your thoughts on AI de-aging in movies? I hate it. I absolutely despise it. I despise it so much. It literally, it's disgusting and I fucking hate it. It looks terrible. I don't want to see an old person like puppeting the corpse of a younger version of themselves. Just cast someone that looks vaguely similar. Like, have we forgotten that these are movies? Like, I don't think that Lord of the Rings is real. I know that it's a movie. It's a fake story. Like, if I see a face that doesn't look exactly like the face I saw when I was 11, I don't care if they're a good actor and they embody the spirit. Like, no one wants to pass the torch anymore. Everyone's so damn greedy. Like, I watched the first, like, 30 minutes of that new Indiana Jones movie with a friend of mine, and oh my god, it's so fucking weird. It's so weird. I hate it. Get this one right. How would you rank these cartoons? The Simpsons, Futurama, South Park, Family Guy, American Dad, Cleveland Show. Okay, let's go. And I'm gonna say, to do this properly, I'm ranking them at their best. This is at their peak. I'm not ranking them based on their overall quality, because you have to think about, like, Simpsons. I haven't watched any of the new shit. I only watched the old episodes that are good. You know, I don't know about bad Simpsons like that. I can't rank that fairly. So I'm breaking them off of their best, and at their best, it's probably Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy, South Park, American Dad, Cleveland Show. But you have to understand that I've only seen like 4 episodes of American Dad, but I didn't think any of them were funny. So I've seen by far the least of that show, but I didn't like really enjoy. I didn't dislike it, but it, like, I've seen South Park episodes that I liked, even though I don't like the show as a whole. Like, the South Park movie is good. That's probably the peak of the series for me. Damn, I can't get this one line. There we go. Where'd my mouse go? Oh, there it is. I saw a question. I wanted to scroll up. Do you expect to make standalone animated YouTube content? That's actually a good question. Me and Jack have talked a decent amount about that. Regardless of the success of this pilot, and once you see the episode, I think you'll understand this was, kind of expensive to make. I think I don't want to go into a whole budget breakdown right now, but perhaps in the future, if we're talking about funding future episodes, we'll talk about that. So just stay tuned, I suppose. But we did talk about having an interest in coming up with some slightly less ambitious ideas, just like interesting comedy series or things that kind of have the vibe of like something you would see on Adult Swim at like 3 a.m. I think there's a beauty to the efficiency of a lot of those Adult Swim shows, and they have a charm to them. But I mean, in general, I would just love to. I just want to make as many things as I can in the time that I have, Love drawing circles. Are you guys planning on watching any more indie shows? We might do. We streamed. Well, Jack was streaming, and then I joined later. If you look at the VODs on this channel in the live tab, we watched Gluttony. I think that's what it's called. Which had a cute art style, and some of the other stuff that was on that channel Jack was watching. We watched Next Friday. Amazing. Look it up. It was made by a bunch of it was like a graduation film, but also a pilot, which I'm seeing a lot more of these days. When you look at like the new graduation films coming out, a lot of them are like pilots now, because people are realizing that like they should take advantage of the chance to make something. Now that like pilots are a more popular like form of media on YouTube right now. Next Friday, it was really good. I can't gas that one up enough. I highly recommend checking it out. The video itself, that when we did a video, didn't really pull the numbers, if I'm gonna be frank. So I don't know how likely it is that we'll do another like main channel video. Have you heard of Get Fatter Now? No, I haven't heard. I have not heard of Get Fatter Now. Is it one for the architects? Come back down here. Daria and Downtown mentioned. Daria and Downtown are so good. Oh my god. They're actually amazing. Oh, to be alive in the, like, 5 years that MTV was actually good. It wasn't very long. Like, people very much romanticize MTV as a thing, but I don't think MTV was actually good for a very long period of time. From what I can gather, it seems like it had a very brief but exceptional moment in the sun. I guess Beavis and Butthead did run for a long ass time. Daria had like five seasons, was it? Was it 5? Hello, I'm working on the pilot. I'm doing cleanup animation. I saw someone wearing y'all's merch in public today. That's crazy. Hey, I will say the strawberry milk hat has rave reviews. I was wearing it once in public, and I did get complimented on the hat. And it was not a fan. Though I don't generally make a huge habit of wearing my own merch out in day-to-day, because it feels a little weird to do. But I will wear that hat. It's SpongeBob Day? Dude, nobody fucking told me it was SpongeBob Day. I was supposed to... Man, I didn't get a Krabby Patty. I didn't go jellyfishing. Oh, fuck, man. I didn't play the clarinet. I didn't do anything. Favorite network out of the big three? Definitely Cartoon Network. I mean, they all have great stuff. And I think the peak eras of them are different. Because, like, if I think of Nickelodeon, I think for me, definitely the best period was, like, Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats type era. I really fucked with those shows. Hey Arnold is, like, a favorite. So, that era of Nick cartoons was great. But I think overall, I definitely have more I mean, you can't really compete with Over the Garden Wall, Steven Universe, Infinity Train, like, they've got so many bangers. Chowder. Any specific musicals that influence Plastic Crunch? I think musically speaking, the most obvious and blatant influence is definitely just Steven Universe. Just in terms of like the way that show uses music in the structure of the show, I think is what worked. Well, our take on it, anyways, is what works the best for the kind of show we wanted to make. But as far as musicals go, I have many, many favorites. I love West Side Story, Les Mis, and I am a huge, huge fan of anything that I have seen that Sondheim has developed. Little Night Music, Sunday in the Park with George, Sweeney Todd, Company. What's the other one? Merrily We Roll Along, which has a pro shot out now with what's his name? Daniel Radcliffe, Jacob Groff, Jason Groff, something Groff. He's in Frozen. And Jennifer something. She's also in a lot of things and is really good. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name. Do you think you'd be able to get the opportunity to make your own show without being a YouTuber? No. I don't think we would have a damn fucking chance in hell. I didn't go to art school. I have no connections. Like people who've made successful industry people who have proven multiple times over that they can make a successful show can't get a show picked up. Fucking what's that post Craig McCracken had where he was like, people were like, why aren't you making any original ideas in response to the Fosters remake or reboot? Sorry, and he was like, I pitched like 14 original ideas to Netflix and they rejected all of them. Like the fucking companies don't want to make original stuff for shit unless you can prove that you're successful already. Now, maybe there's a possibility of like the alternate universe where I didn't become a YouTuber and I worked at Wendy's and then came home and made an animated thing on my own. And then maybe that was successful, but that sounds like a much, much, much harder path. And I'm sure there's a lot of people doing that right now. And if you are, I hope you're successful. Don't give up. But that's very hard. Let me get this right. Thoughts on Jack's being... I don't know if I want to do Amazing Digital Circus discourse right now. Which is not a slight in any way. But I actually, like, I literally was talking about it yesterday with some friends. I'm kind of over it right now. Maybe ask me in like 6 months. are you the only animator, or is there others, and is it relatively expensive? Yeah, we have a team. We across the whole project, I think we've worked with like 12 animators, excluding myself. Though the bulk of it is done by a core team of maybe like probably, what do I say? Yeah, probably like 3 or 4 rough animators, and also about 2 or 3 cleanup animators are like did the vast majority, and then we've also had some other animators who have done like bits and pieces here and there. Maybe some people you might even recognize worked on stuff. Are you drawing on Krita? I'm using Clip Studio Paint. It is my animation software of choice. I don't think that it has the best UI or functionality, but I like the way the drawing works. It feels the most like traditional frame-by-frame drawing, which is what I like and want to do. I'm not really interested in like puppet animation or anything like that. Though you can animate in Krita, I'm pretty sure. I tried using Krita a long time ago. It's okay. But since it's open source, it's probably better now than when I used it initially. Honestly, I think art school sucks. As someone who took that route, the teachers are awful and made people cry all the time. Yeah, this is the thing where it's also like, it depends on where you are, right? Well, with school, and I think this is similar because I studied at a music conservatory. So, you know, it's an art school. Not, I think, the one most people generally think of, but it's, I think, a similar kind of experience where it's very specialized, and ultimately the experience you get is gonna come down to your teachers and your classmates. And it's not just like, you can't just get raw information. It's all about like the quality of the teachers, and I think like if you are seriously considering that, like really look at who's teaching and be like, do I want to learn from these people? See if they have like a mentorship, which, you know, possibly could replace going to the school, but otherwise, you know, can give you an idea of if you want to learn from this person. I think it's just become such an incentivized thing that like people don't even think about like what it means to go to a school. But it used to be like people would go out of their way to find the person that they like and try and learn from them in person. And I don't really like teachers that, especially in an industry like animation, if you're not working in the industry, like you don't fucking know anything about what's going on. Like it's not the same. Like the industries like this are constantly changing. So you need to be actually working in the industry. You can teach technique, I suppose, but I would generally say it's best to learn from people that actually work actively in the industry in some capacity. If that's like the route you're trying to go. If like you're going to school with the goal of working in the industry. There we go. Are you streaming this on Twitch? No, this is a YouTube exclusive. That's why you've got to subscribe to Milk Animation for the exclusive live streams you can't get anywhere else. You're listening to MILK.1FM. Real Milk Animation. Any tips on post-production? That's a hard thing to advise because I very much feel like I'm figuring it out as I go along. I think that's another kind of thing. Similar to editing, where you have to really just do it and start to get a feel for what it feels like to do it. And you can't expect to know everything at once. It's more a process of like, when I started video editing for the first time, it was like, I just had, like, there'd be a thing I would want to do. And so I'd Google, how do I do this thing? And then I'd follow their instructions and work from there. And it's just like, you just have to be okay with realizing that you have no base of knowledge, so you have to build it up from zero. Let me look at the chat. I've had an equal amount of people telling me to go versus avoid it. I mean, ultimately, you've got to weigh it against your personal circumstances, because the answer is going to be different the answer is going to be different for everyone. But I would just like, but I understand the appeal of like school. That's why I'm very much an advocate for like online classes and stuff, because I do like learning in a class situation, especially one with other students. I learn much better like when I'm around other people, I find. But college isn't the only place that you can get that kind of experience. That was quite the banger. You were defo one of the biggest nerds. What can I say? Actually, I mean, I was homeschooled, so like, I didn't have much competition. Have you ever played factory building game like Factorio? I have yet to get into that specific type of game. Or like Kerbal Space Program. I don't know how to describe that other than like nerd game. like computer games that a computer science major plays. I haven't really gotten into any of those. Oh, I fucked this up. This one should be in front. So many commentators are homeschooled. What's the pipeline? That's I didn't know there was a pattern. I really didn't know. Raise his hand to tell teacher she forgot to sign homework. I don't know if I was at quite that level of goody two shoes, but maybe something close. Though with later education, like obviously we all have, I think part of the reason that I like learning is because obviously many people have had very bad experiences with homeschooling, but the approach I received was more that I was just allowed to study with a focus on things that I was interested in. I took a lot of online classes, and I, particularly with like English and literature, I was able to just like pick classes with a focus on stuff I liked, like dystopian literature. So I feel like I just have more of an enjoyment for schooling because it wasn't me being forced to read a bunch of like stuff that I didn't feel like I was engaged with. I think school in general would be a lot better if we just gave kids more control over the things that they're learning. Because that's why it's like if you're not engaged in it, you're not going to retain any of it. You need to feel like it's like you're a part of the process. Alright, bit by bit, we're getting there. We're getting there. Any obscure cartoons you would recommend? I'm trying to pick a real deep cut. A real deep cut. Let's take a little break. Oh, not that one. What's a real deep cut? Could I actually put you on some shit? Because I feel like Downtown is probably one that I don't really see. Like, most people don't know about Downtown. I don't see it getting... obviously, it didn't have much of a run. I do think there's less obscure shows. When you look at Western animation, like, there's just less shows that are obscure. Once you start getting to, like, foreign animation, obviously, there's less knowledge anime or whatever. But they just weren't, like, they made a lot of episodes of a smaller amount of shows, but there's just not as many. Like, you can go through the list of every show that Cartoon Network ever produced, and it's like, it's not that long. It's not unreasonably insane, but you look at how many anime come out in the average season, like in a 3-month period, and it's like insane. It's like hundreds of shows. Not that many, but that, like, hundreds of shows are coming out like every year, and that's not true for Western animation. Maybe like 15. I think this is an anime, but it's just easier to pick anime, if I'm gonna be honest, for like an obscure recommendation. This is one of my favorite shows. I'm trying to find the opening theme in not like 2 pixel quality. Here we are. This is a show called Haibane Renmei. I'm going to change the screen to this so you can see. I'll just play the opening theme. Okay. That's my recommendation. Haibane Renmei. Let's go back. It's been an hour already. Should pick up the pace. Well, it's because I'm talking so much. I'm like, this is a very simple cut. It should not take me that long. You know what I'll do here? Just do a cheeky copy paste so I can make sure it comes out of the right place. Have you seen any European cartoons or comics? Not as many as I'd like to. I liked, my uncle gave me a bunch of Asterix comics when I was a kid. I was a big fan of those. I really loved how, like, weird the humor was, and how almost like it's full of so many like historical references, and like the writing and humor of it is like so like not, I don't know, like kind of heady. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's heady. It's just like not necessarily something that I think like a kid would really get, and I kind of liked the fact that I didn't completely get the jokes all the time. But then also there's a lot of like slapstick and obvious humor that a kid would understand. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I wasn't that familiar with Tintin, but I have experienced a little bit of it. Not a big Smurfs fan, so I wouldn't really rank that one on the list. I like the Ernest and Celestine movies. Oh, if we're getting into movies, because I'm thinking of shows right now, movies I've seen way more. I have a much wider range of knowledge with movies. There's still a bunch I haven't seen, like but there's some really great ones. Ernest and Celestine is probably, that's like so high. I haven't seen the second movie, but the first movie, so it's like French Ponyo, you know, where it's just like the most wonderful experience ever. So beautifully animated. I mean, the French, they know how to animate, bro. They know how to fucking animate. I think there's a very clear overlap between being like a huge pervert and being good at animation. Because like, I would say the people that do it best, at least right now, is probably France and Japan. And I think there's a very key thing in common, and it's that they're both huge fucking perverts. Cartoon Saloon, I love Cartoon Saloon, particularly Wolfwalkers. Wolfwalkers is a absolute masterpiece. I also like Song of the Sea a lot. I'm not a huge fan of what was the other one that Moore did? It was I'm totally blanking on the name. The first one that they did. I think you can just tell that it was very much like them figuring things out. It's like a messier, rougher around the edges. But Breadwinner, that's also a great film. Breadwinner is like an animated film that you can like show your parents. And I mean like show your parents that think animation is like not a respectable medium. The Secret of Kells, that's the name of the movie that I was thinking of. The Breadwinner is like a very like, I don't know, it's a very like movie. I don't know how to describe it outside of that. It's great, but one that I would recommend if you wanted to just show someone an animated film and like show them that it's not there's so many different kinds of animated films. I am excited for, what is it, Julian? That's the one they have coming up. Let's see. All right, now I can color this. The Peasants, made by people that did Loving Vincent. That's one that's on my list. I need to... Hold on, I'm gonna save this. I need to check that one out. I watched Loving... Actually, I watched Loving Vincent with my mom. That was a good one. That's a good movie. My only... I don't want to be negative. It's a great movie. Let me gas it up a little bit more first. It's a great movie. I love how melancholic it is. I really love when the backgrounds get like really weird and they start sort of capturing like some of his paintings. I wish they did more. Like the actual story side is good. I like the story. I just wish they pushed the visuals more because it still feels like rotoscopy in the way that like I felt like they could have exaggerated things more if you're gonna go through all the effort to paint it. What file? What shot is this? Oh, C11. Yeah, Song of the Sea is wonderful. My dad thinks all animated movies are the same. Well, we do get... it's unfortunate, but I can see how people might form that opinion because we get such a limited taste. We really don't get a wide range. I think now it's nice at least that there's been a more foreign animation getting some time, but even then, you know, it's still mostly like limited screenings. Like there's not, though I think a big one was Flow, which I still haven't seen, and I'll fully admit it's because I know that it's a movie about a cat hanging out with some animals and there's no dialogue, and that kind of sounds boring to me. I believe that it's a good movie. I'm fully willing to believe that it's a good movie, but it does, like, in my mind I picture that and it sounds kind of boring, so it's never ends up being the movie that I put on when I'm thinking of a movie to watch. But yes, I do think like the success of that movie was really cool to see, and I would love to see more successes like it. And that was a very low budget animated movie as well, made by a very small team. So excited for Wildwood. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Don't let me down. Do not let me down, please. This needs to be their next... they're hyping it up like it's going to be their next KOR line. So it better fucking be their next KOR line, or I'm going to be pissed. Paranorman's also good. But a lot of the Leica movies are like enjoyable, but like they're not KOR line. You know, I don't know how to say it other than they're not KOR line. Honestly, I just wish that Henry Selick would direct every Leica movie, and then it would be fucking awesome. I'm so pissed. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. Henry Selick had like a movie in production at Pixar, because Pixar was gonna do like stop motion stuff for a long ass time, and they were like in production, like they animated a lot of footage, and then it got canned because they were like, I don't see the market for this, or it's too scary for kids, or some stupid shit like that. Absolute tragedy. In fact, if I remember the story correctly, I believe there's an article from Animation Obsessive about it, which is the best source for animation journalism by far that I have seen anywhere. It was like he was butting heads a lot with John Lasseter on like the style and tone of the film and like a lot of the story stuff. Ones, and then I can use my pen. It needs to be core line, I think is what he's saying. They haven't done that well the last few years, box office wise. Leica, yeah, I mean, I imagine Leica will continue to exist essentially however long Travis Knight wants it to, because it seems like money isn't really that huge of a problem. It is like it's the Nepo studio, which is like, I mean, I'm glad that he's putting the money to use. You know, this is like what rich people used to just do this. Like rich people used to fund opera houses and shit like that was their way of being like, guys, please don't eat us. We promise we're cool. And then they would fund things in the community that they were in, instead of just going to an island where no one else can go. So basically what I'm saying is that we should eat the rich. Except for Travis Knight. He can stay. Was the article locked behind a paywall? I don't remember. Unfortunately, I can't remember because I do have a membership. I mean, it's only like $5. But obviously I understand if that's something you can't or don't want to do. This music is way too chill. Oh, it's because we're at the end of the playlist. I'm using Clip Studio Paint. What are your thoughts on Swaybox Studios and their upcoming Robins movie? I haven't really heard much of anything about it. What's the story there? I need to color this bit. My desk is very cluttered right now. I really need to clean it up. How do you make animations longer than 5 seconds? Use music. That's a little better. You have to get the like, what is it, X? The premium. There's like 2 Clip Studio Paints. And like the cheaper one is good for illustration, but it only lets you make like 5 seconds of animation at a time. Basically, I'm saying, yeah, they make you pay more for it, unfortunately. I'm not saying I support the business practices of Clip Studio Paint. I just use it. I mean, it's better than Adobe Animate, God forbid. Does that even still exist, or did they delete that? I'm looking for here. Is it monthly? Yeah, they changed it to monthly. That's what a lot of people were complaining about. Because everything's a monthly subscription now. Because they want you to be caught in their ecosystem for all of time. With no escape. Oh, I know what I'm looking for now. It should be here. Guys, remember to label and order your files appropriately. You will thank yourself for it in the future. It sucks to do. Don't get me wrong. It's not fun. No one well, some people will. You know, sometimes organizing things is fun, actually. I changed my mind. But regardless, it's worth the effort. What? No, I didn't. What? Who said that? I was so confused. I didn't turn my mic off. Why did someone say that? Why are you baiting me? That Swaybox Studios movie is dynamic duo, a DC animated film using puppetry, stop motion, and CGI to show Dick Grayson and Jason Todd's journey as Robins before becoming Nightwing and Red Hood. That sounds interesting. I'm curious to see how they'll execute it. I am actually quite happy to see a superhero movie that actually is like trying to do something interesting art with the art style. I mean, obviously Spider-Verse is good in that regard too. I'm thinking more in the sense that I feel like a lot of comic art has kind of plateaued. There's obviously there's exceptions everywhere, but I'm just happy to see that they're trying something really weird and interesting. And I think that animation is like the best medium for superhero adaptations. So it kind of annoys me that like most movies, like superhero movies, are live action when it seems like it seems like a form of storytelling that was like built for live action, built for animation, and they're forcing it into live. I mean, all the stuff that they have to do is just animation. You're just watching animation. When you watch Iron Man fly around in fucking Iron Man 3 and there's like 900 goddamn the robots, like that's animation. Those are all cartoon characters you're watching. I forgot that I need to make a new layer here. And there we go. We can't hear you? What? I'm timing this person out. They don't know what they're talking about. We are not watching Space Chimps 2. Okay, we might watch Space Chimps 2. I don't want to though. I would much rather live in a world where I've never seen Space Chimps 2. Do you understand how hard it is to be someone that's seen Space Chimps 1? God forbid I become someone that's seen the whole duology of Space Chimps movies. I wouldn't wish that life on my worst enemy. Is your hair type wavy? I suppose. Somewhere on that, not quite straight, but I mean, it's not like it's not dense curls, but there's some curl happening. What I know, you know what, my hair type is a pain in my ass. That's what it is. Bisexual. Should I dye my hair purple? Is that what you're saying? I've never dyed my hair, and honestly, I don't know if I ever will. Almost there. Have you ever wanted to say screw it and cut it shorter? I've had shorter hair in the past. If you look at the older videos, especially around like the High Guardian Spice era, my hair was much, much shorter. But I found I like it a little on the longer side. Maybe not quite this long, slightly shorter than this. Might be my ideal range. Shave your head. Unless I go bald, it's not happening. It's not happening, bro. I can, like, I think the only, like, maybe if it was like, maybe if you're like, if you shave your head, yeah, and you have like verifiable proof, like I can't deny it, and you're like, if you shave your head, I'll donate $1 million to this child hospital, and then I'd be like, fuck, man, I guess I gotta do it, you know. But I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Have you ever had a buzz cut? Once. I remember distinctly. I was a child. My uncle took me to a barber shop. Not a salon, not like Supercuts or something. Like a yo, what's up? What'll it be, boss? You know, a barber shop. And they just they cut my shit clean off. I was fucking bald, bro. They cut everything off, man. I don't even remember what I look like. I just remember being very unhappy. It definitely looked weird as fuck, though. Fucking layer is this one? Oh. Lol. There we go. I think that's done. Oh, I have one last thing to do. But this cut is just about done. Be bald, but get a wig that looks exactly like your actual hair. No one will know. That's an ingenious plan. Honestly, that would be pretty fucking funny. Imagine just one day, one video, one stream. I just like, hey guys, and then I lift my hair. It comes off. It's not even attached. It's like a cartoon, like a comedy film where the wind blows a little bit too hard and the guy's toupee gets like completely misaligned, and you can see his bald fucking head. It would be pretty funny. I need to find the reference sheet for this before I clean it up. Pink Panthers wears wigs. I mean, I guess that's not too surprising. If you're good, like, that's the thing, like a lot of, because that's like a common thing with like guys, like going out with a girl and like, then it's like, shit, man, I didn't know that was a wig. Because like, that they do it well. They do it well. Or like extensions, like maybe not necessarily the whole thing, but you know, most of it being an addition. I don't like the implications of the evil version of me having an afro. You know, that's not a good look. Where is this damn thing? There it is. What can we do to get the word out about the plastic crunch more? Share it when it comes out. Share it when it comes out. That's really the best thing that you can do, is just share it when it comes out. I mean, obviously, you'd be like, oh, I'm hyped for this show, but like, I mean, I'm very much the kind of person that's like, I'm bad at promo, because I I'm just like, here's the thing, okay, hey guys, here's my show that I made, watch it, please, It's my Saikuno impression. Saikuno, if he worked at Glitch Productions. It's kind of like Amazing Digital Circus. But yeah, we'll be dropping a full trailer pretty soon. It's in the works right now, like the trailer itself, because obviously that's something you also have to figure out. So we'll have something more substantial to share in the near future. Just put this over here. Make my life a little easier. Let's do that again. Does the show have any glitch-like dialogue? You know, I'll leave that to you. You can be the judge of that. It's one of those things where I don't know that you know, you're never the best person at assessing that kind of thing. But if it does, I sure hope it has a glitch-like view count. Have you seen the really weird new Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks design? I don't know, I said it like, what did I say? I said Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Alvin and the Chipmunks. I haven't seen it. I'll look it up. I'll look it up after I'm done with this. I'm just about finished. Because I am curious. Because is it more fucked up looking than that like CG animated Alvin and the Chipmunks show? Because that is probably, and the crazy thing is, there's so, because the Alvin and the Chipmunks live action movies is also hideous. Like there's so many ugly Alvins out there in the world. It's kind of beautiful. Like he has been hideous so many times. Let's get some color in here. Yeah, I'm excited to see what that looks like. I think the only like piece of Alvin and the Chipmunks media I've ever liked was the, what was it called? It's this movie where it's Alvin and the Chipmunks racing the Chipettes across the world, and the plot of it is that there's like some fucking diamond or some shit. There's like special precious gems that these evil people want to get. And they're basically tricking the Chipmunks into thinking that they're going on like some like vacation or like adventure thing or whatever, but actually they're using them to try and get the special stuff. And there's like a really weird song in it where the Chipettes sing like a terrifyingly overtly sexual song for a children's movie. And then the animation is really good. I'm pretty sure that I stole the movie from Blockbuster, because I've watched it many times. The Chipmunk Adventure. That's it. That's the one. There we go. Alright, that's done. Let's see this fucking Alvin. Show me the Alvin. Let's see what happens if I look up new Alvin and the Chipmunks design. Oh, here's a article in the Wall Street Journal. Oh, this is paywall. Okay. Oh, here, r/cartoons. No, this doesn't have a is there one with, is there like a picture? I see people talking about it. Is this it? Wait, let me look at this. Let me scoop my camera over. Is this what you're talking about? Because is this different? This just looks like the movies. Like, this looks like the other ones. I don't really see that. I imagine there probably is if you're a real chipmunk head, but I don't see that much of a difference. That's just from Road Chip. Okay, this is the image in all of the posts about the Alvin and the Chipmunks reboot. I don't see any pictures of it. I don't know if they're I haven't seen anything. I think they're talking about the Nickelodeon one. Oh, that's the one I was referencing. This one. This one. This is the most detestable, despicable design of all time. It's so... He's so human. He's so human. They made him way too human. Like, you gotta make them a little human, obviously. They're cartoon chipmunks that sing. But he's so human. Big Shot Pictures. Let's take a look. Get that off my screen. Yeah, okay. I'll get something different. I'll get something different. Hold on. How's this? Is this any better? Is this better? Look at that. Like, what is this expression even supposed to communicate? He looks... It's like... I just farted. Mild concern. There's not much... It's not very confident. This is AI. The Instagram thing you're talking about, I'm pretty sure I found it. This is 100% just an AI generated image. I do not think that there is any visuals of it. Is this real? I guess they did post this on their Instagram, but is this not AI? This is definitely AI. This is definitely an AI image. Look at this. I really feel like that's AI. That's they wanted to make a post, but they don't actually have anything to show. All right. Is there any final comments, questions, concerns? I finished with the thing. I'm gonna call the stream there. We've been going for a good 2 hours. I would say to stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we will be streaming and posting a lot more here. So if you enjoyed your time today, there will be more like it in the future. How exciting. I will be spilling so much milk. Oh my god, you can't even imagine. I'll be spilling oat milk, almond milk, rice milk, soy milk, whole milk, raw milk. What other milks are there? Are there any other milks? I think that's all the milks. Is there any other milks? Goat milk. There's no other milks. Sleep? What? It's only 5:30. Okay. I'm not going to sleep. Enjoyed the stream. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. Condensed milk. That's a good one. And I had considered the alternative forms. But if we're getting into alternative forms of milk, are we counting yogurt? Think about it. What about kefir? Is kefir milk? Is kefir milk? Is a milkshake milk? You look I always look tired. This is just what I look like. This is what my face looks like. It always looks like this. All right. I'm ending stream now. Goodbye.